Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Talk Tuesday.
Going up on the Tuesday.
So I am really excited to do today's video. Today we are talking about reincarnation again, which as you guys know is one of my favorite topics. It's just something I'm completely fascinated in. I love looking at cases of children who remember their past lives because I really feel like children are so innocent and pure that I believe them more than an adult. If you have never heard a reincarnation story, I do have a couple others, but there are thousands of cases of kids who remember things from their past lives and can give detailed accounts of what they did or how they died. I have to say this case is remarkable. The amount of evidence, really blows your mind.
A young boy who says he remembers things he couldn't possibly from a time long before he was born.
It's not unusual for little boys to have vivid imaginations, but Ryan's stories were legendary.
13 years old and he's from Oklahoma. He was a 4-year-old toddler when he started having nightmares, which is how this normally goes in these stories. If you have watched several of my reincarnation videos, I'm sure you're starting to notice a pattern. Ryan was only 4 years old when he started having really intense nightmares. He went to go tell his mom, Cindy, who was Southern Baptist, very religious, and did not believe in reincarnation. And he pulled her aside and said, "Mommy, I have something to tell you." And then he said, "I used to be someone else." Imagine what you would do if that was your 4-year-old kid that said that. I feel like the way that he phrased that sounds like the way a kid would say something like that. I used to be someone else. It's not like he referred to past lives. He didn't understand reincarnation or the concept or whatever. That was just what he needed to express based on what was going on in his mind. He then claimed to be a Hollywood actor from the 1920s. He told his mom that he was alive before and that he wanted to go home. And to him, home was Hollywood.
My last room was grander. I want to go back to my swimming pool. When I wanted to go somewhere, I went down and saw the boys down at the bank and they gave me the money and I went.
Behaving like this Hollywood mogul, not like the 5-year-old child.
Exactly.
He would literally cry and beg his mom to bring him to Hollywood. And this went on for so long, like maybe a kid would pull this for a few hours if they were faking it, or like a couple days, a week even max. But like, as most parents out there probably know, kids aren't going to continue some grand storyline with the same thing and have the same desire to go somewhere if they're just making it all up, because kids don't remember their story well enough to keep their facts straight. But Ryan did.
You know, that's not something that we were taught to believe in.
And so she tried to keep it a secret, worried everyone would think her son was crazy.
He even remembers seeing actresses like Rita Hayworth, and even remembers acting with Mae West. He said he would travel around the world and went on lavish vacations in Paris. And then he also claimed that he was a dancer on Broadway and worked for some type of agency at the end of his life. He also said that he lived on a street with the word rock in it. So he gave some very specific clues. So obviously it was hard for Ryan's mother, being raised Baptist, to deal with this. She was honestly quite frightened by the whole thing and really wanted to prove it all wrong. She didn't understand how these memories could even be possible. These people would have no reason to make this stuff up. And she was really surprised that he knew who Mae West and Rita Hayworth were. And why would Ryan know about them? I mean, he's 4. And because Ryan's dreams were so detailed and so precise, Ryan's mother was inspired to go to the library and check out books on old Hollywood. And while they were looking through these books, they found a publicity photo from the 1932 movie Night After Night, and he immediately knew that he was the person in the yellow coat on the right. Ryan pointed to him and said, "That's me, that's who I was."
When we found the picture, it changed everything.
A photo in a book about the golden age of Hollywood. The picture was from the movie Night After Night, the film debut of Mae West.
And you know, you'd think that if it's all in this kid's imagination, he'd pick someone really famous to have been reincarnated from, you know? But the guy that he thinks he was really not famous at all. Barely famous. In fact, he was just an extra in a movie. So it was nearly impossible for Cindy to find any information about this person because he was just an extra. So Cindy decided that she needed to bring in more help, that she had no idea even where to start with this or what the hell was going on, so she looked for an expert's help. And then she found Dr. Jim Tucker. He is actually the same guy that was in my video on the reincarnation stories from 9/11. He's a professor of psychiatry and neurobehavioral sciences at the University of Virginia, and he has spent a decade looking into past lives cases for over 2,500 children. Jim Tucker was finally able to identify that man in the photo, and his name was Marty Martin. And it turns out he was a movie extra who later became a very powerful Hollywood agent. He was born in Philadelphia in 1903 and he died in 1964.
It took a Hollywood archivist to finally identify the man in that old movie. His name, Marty Martin. And just like Ryan said, he'd become a powerful Hollywood agent.
Ryan had talked about how people would change their names at the agency, and of course the talent agency, they were changing people's names all the time.
And Martin did dance on Broadway, traveled the world, had 2 sisters, and even went to Paris with his wife. It was his 5th wife. And that street with the word rock in it, Martin lived on Roxbury Drive in Beverly Hills. His daughter even confirmed he had a craving for orange soda, just like Ryan said.
Of course, a lot of people are going to say, come on, this is the parent or somebody else feeding them information.
I mean, it's just inconceivable that the parents, for some reason, had done all that. This information wasn't on the internet.
But even with the 55 specific things Ryan said that turned out to be true, one claim still bothered Dr. Tucker.
He said he didn't see why God would let you get to be 61 and then make you come back as a baby. So that looked like just an incorrect statement.
That's because Marty Martin's death certificate stated he was 59 when he died.
Since then, I've gotten information that the death certificate was actually incorrect, which would have made Marty Martin 61 when he died.
So he was just lying about his age like everybody else in Hollywood.
Or is a typo on the death certificate, or, you know, who knows what.
Right.
Ryan was right all along.
Are you glad you've had this experience?
Yes, I am.
Does it still feel real to you now that you're 10?
I still feel like it's real, and it is kind of fading.
A chance to let go of the past and just be a kid.
And Ryan provided so many details about his previous life, it was insane.
How he had danced on Broadway, and then had gone to Hollywood to work in the movies. Then he had worked for an agency, seen the world from big boats, talked about going to Paris. All of this, frankly, seemed quite unlikely to me for an extra with no lines in the movie.
So Dr. Tucker wanted to find even more information, so he ended up tracking down Marty's daughter, and they were able to confirm 55 of the details that Ryan gave about his life were true. Ryan remembered so much, he in fact made over 200 claims. They were only able to confirm that 55 of them are true, which is a lot, but most of them they weren't able to confirm or deny either way. It's just really hard to, track down information to even confirm them, so they're more just like unknown at this point, but chances are most of them are correct. So here are some of the things that he did get correct. His address. You know how he remembered that there was a rock in it? It turns out his address was 825 North Roxbury Drive in Beverly Hills. So not quite, but I'd say rocks with an X definitely qualifies as at least close enough. I mean, damn, that's pretty good. He claimed that he would spend time in Paris with his 5th wife, and he would also talk about how much he loved the popular drink True-Aid, which was discontinued years and years before he was even born, but his daughter confirmed that that was her father's favorite drink. He also knew how many children Marty had, how many times he was married. Ryan remembered having 2 sisters, and what's really weird is Marty's daughter didn't even know that he actually did have 2 sisters. She only knew about one of them. They were able to confirm that a second sister did exist. How would you feel if someone came to your house and corrected you about how many siblings your parent had? I mean, you can't write this stuff. This is stranger than fiction. He remembered that his mother had curly brown hair. He also talked about working at an agency where they changed people's names often, and it turns out that the agency he worked at did change people's names all the time. He said that one of his favorite things to do was go to the beach and watch the surfers, and it turns out this was one of Marty's favorite things to do. He said when he lived in Hollywood, he drove a green car and his wife drove a very nice black car. He also talked about having an African-American maid, which Marty did have. He also said he had a piano in his house. That was true. He said he had a big pool in his backyard. That was also true. And the part that will fuck you up the most. Ryan had stated that he didn't understand why God would let someone live till 61 and then die and have to start over as a baby all over again. He was like frustrated with that. And his death certificate stated that Marty was 59. So obviously they were like, shit, like he got that one wrong, and that was just driving them insane. But after doing some more research, they found out that the death certificate had some type of error on it. We're not sure exactly what happened, or if he lied about his age, or if there was a typo or what, but he actually was 61. After discovering that he was born in 1903, they found out that his death certificate was incorrect.
Marty Martin's death certificate stated he was 59 when he died.
Since then, I've gotten information that the death certificate was actually incorrect, which would have made Martin 61 when he died.
So he was just lying about his age like everybody else in Hollywood.
Or is a typo on the death certificate, or, who knows what.
Right.
Ryan was right all along.
So to me, it's like, dude, what other evidence do you need? It seems to me that this kid is the soul of Marty. Now that Ryan is 13 years old, he said his memories of his past life are fading, which is normal. And while he said that he's happy that he has had this experience, he's happy to just move on and be a kid. And I don't blame him. That's a very heavy burden on him.
Are you glad you've had this experience?
Yes, I am.
Does it still feel real to you now that you're 10?
I still feel like it's real, and it is kind of fading.
A chance to let go of the past and just be a kid.
Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will be making more. I think you guys still like these videos, and if you do, I definitely will be doing another reincarnation video soon. I have so many more stories I want to share with you guys. Crazy stuff out there, man. This world. But I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where Harlem glitz? Putting on the Ritz. Spangled gowns upon the bevy of high brows from down the levee, all misfits.